Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Cinephiles, where I, David DeRose, talk about movies with you, the internet. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dave at the Movies, a 2020 extravaganza. That's correct. Today we'll be taking some short quickie reviews on films that were released either in theaters or on home video in the year 2020. Let us begin! Superman Red Sun is an animated movie based on the comic of the same name written by Mark Millar in 2003. The idea is simple. What if, instead of good old Kansas, Superman's rocket had landed in Soviet Russia? This is one of the rare Superman goes evil stories where he doesn't actually go evil. He is still Superman, despite being raised under Stalin. He still fights for the people. Okay, by the end of the movie he has done several questionable things, but he's still Superman. And Jason Isaac, best known, of course, for his role as Dr. Number 2 in 1989's The Tall Guy, plays it perfectly, with the exact amount of hope and idealism Superman should always embody. Diedrich Bader plays Lex Luthor, and while he wasn't my favorite, he does a fine job. He does portray that I'm smarter than you, and I know it, and I know that you know it, but I'm going to be polite. Kind of smugness that any Lex that's the protagonist needs, and he does that wonderfully. It was interesting to hear him as Lex Luthor after his now iconic run as Batman in things like Batman Brave and the Bold. Speaking of The Dark Knight, the Russian Batman is probably my least favorite part of the movie because he's basically just Superman's Joker, out to tear down everything the Man of Steel has built. But to be fair, he's also not Bruce Wayne. He's just a nut dressed up as Batman, so it makes sense. The art style was clean and smooth, the Superman and Batman musical themes were still completely recognizable even after being shifted into a Russian tune. Kudos to musical director Frederick Weidman. It didn't have the ending of the comic, which saddened me, but that ending, while great, may have been difficult to adapt to the new medium. Superman Red Sun is corny at times, but still very enjoyable and is more than worth watching. But maybe you're not in the mood for communist superheroes right now. Well, how about a nice, relaxing wedding? After all, what could go wrong at a wedding? Love, Wedding, Repeat is a romantic comedy about a wedding that goes horribly wrong. Multiple ways. It's based on the French film Plan de Table, which was released back in 2012. Our main character is Jack, who's attending his sister's wedding. Also at that wedding is the one that got away. As he tries to rekindle their potential romance, he keeps getting waylaid by wave after wave of eccentric characters, including his ex-girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend who is obsessed with comparing penis lengths, the bride's coked-up ex-boyfriend, and a very, very boring used car salesman wearing a kilt for some reason. The one that got away is played by Olivia Munn, who I will always know as Sloane Sabbath from Aaron Sorkin's wonderful The Newsroom. Olivia Munn is criminally underutilized here. Her entire purpose seems to be for her to sit at the bar and get hit on by awkwardly unfunny characters. I really actually am curious to see Plan de Table to see if her character has more to do there. What sets this film apart from all the other wedding that succumbs into chaos movies is that it's basically the alternate timelines episode of Community. At the table that all of our main characters are sitting, one of the glasses contains a powerful sedative. We get to see how events unfold if different characters wind up drinking it. It's a good idea, but I don't think it's executed very well. In fact, I think this would actually make a really good television show. Have the first episode set up the wedding and the characters, and then each episode is a different timeline. You start out with the worst, and you get slowly better, and get some character development in there. I think that would actually be really nice. I kept going back and forth between being genuinely entertained and getting headaches because of the unfunny comedy moments. Love, Wedding, Repeat has enough good in it that I can recommend it, but you might want to have your spirits close by. But maybe you're looking for something a little more family-friendly tonight? Well,
I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world.
Doolittle is the third theatrical incarnation of the literary figure Dr. Dolittle, the man who can walk, talk, grunt, squeak, and squawk with the animals. I was looking forward to this movie being just terrible. That's what all the reviewers said. I was expecting a train wreck, and I've got to say, I was horribly disappointed. It was much more enjoyable than I thought it would be, with many genuine laughs and charm throughout the film. Robert Downey Jr. continues his streak of playing insufferable geniuses that do in fact have a heart. Dr. Dolittle, in this a recluse following the death of his wife, is called back into action when the Queen of England falls ill. With a ragtag group of animals and a boy who has taken it upon himself to be Dr. Dolittle's new apprentice, he sets off to find the cure. Now, the effects in this are just terrible. It looks like these wouldn't be out of place in a movie 10 years ago or more. It's like the animator had two bosses. One who wanted the animals to look realistic, and the other who wanted them to look cartoony. And every time the animator gets to work, one boss comes in and tells him to change it. I swear I've seen more convincing polar bears in Coca-Cola ads. Michael Sheen is our villain, and he is hamming up every second he's on screen. It's like he's a combination of the Master from Doctor Who and Barnaby from Cinephiles movie number 200, 1961's Babes in Toyland. He is a complete cartoon villain on the level of Snidely Whiplash, and I love every second of it. I didn't care much for the kid that plays the apprentice. I felt like you could have lifted him straight out of the movie and not had that much of a trouble keeping the plot going. He really veered into Scrappy-Doo territory at times. My one true complaint about Dolittle is that at the end of the movie we did not find out that Dr. Dolittle was in fact Chief Wiggum all along.
If I could walk with the animals, talk with the animals, grunt and squeak and squawk with the animals.
Good Lord, Dr. Dolittle is Chief Wiggum.
This bird's gonna fly.
Look, are there better kids' movies out there? Of course there are. But Dolittle does not deserve the reputation it gets. It definitely doesn't deserve a 15% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. Look, it'll probably be on Disney Plus soon enough, so maybe when it drops, take a break from your 30th viewing of Frozen 2 and give this a shot. And hey, speaking of Disney Plus, Onward is the 22nd film by Pixar about two brother elves who go on an adventure to try and see their deceased father one last time. The concept of magical creatures, elves, pixies, centaurs, living in what's more or less our world with science and everything is a really interesting concept, and they actually play with it a lot and get really creative with it. I enjoyed it. Chris Pratt and Tom Holland play off each other really well. They have the brotherly banter down really, really well. It probably helps that they're friends in real life and actually hang out. I hear they actually got to record in the same room often, which nowadays in animated films is almost unheard of. So I'll bet that helped out a lot. Cool. The movie plays with every fantasy trope in the book and it basically hangs a lampshade on each one. It's a fun D&D adventure come to life. Well, come to animated life anyway. And it has real heart. There is a possibility that I may have teared up at one or two moments. A possibility. And it all wraps up with this definitely epic ending. And Onward, I highly recommend it. So yeah, Onward is uplifting, has great family, some great action, it's whimsical, but you know what it doesn't have? Lots of guns. Oh, Jesus. What do I even say about Guns Akimbo? If you've seen the trailer for Guns Akimbo, you know 100% if you want to see this movie or not. Okay, Guns Akimbo is an action comedy starring Daniel Radcliffe and Ready or Not Samara Weaving. Daniel Radcliffe plays a loser who gets on the wrong side of a couple of internet trolls who happen to run a Saw-esque online streaming site where they get two people to try and kill each other and people watch as it's live streamed. So they knock Daniel Radcliffe out, they nail guns to his hands, and tell him that he has to kill Samara Weaving in 2 days, within 24 hours, and she is trying to kill him so she can get out of the whole thing. This movie is Baby Driver meets Scott Pilgrim vs. the World meets Nerve from a couple of years ago with Emma Roberts and Dave Franco. This movie is amazing. I need to own this movie. This is just so much fun. Everything is over the top. It's hyper realized. I love this movie. I cannot wait to see what else this writer-director does. As of now, he's only done one other thing. In 2015, he made a movie called Deathgasm, which is available on Amazon Prime, and that is definitely a movie I'm going to be watching soon. Yeah, I'm so glad I got to see this. This movie did not disappoint in the slightest. Guns Akimbo. Go see it. If watching the reviews for any of these movies made you hungry today, well, you're in luck. Movie Menus is a brand new website dedicated to making brand new original recipes based on movies and television shows. Our amazing friends there have already come up with a number of recipes based on Onward, which I've reviewed tonight, as well as upcoming recipes based on Love, Wedding, Repeat, which I've also reviewed, and the Academy Award-winning movie Parasite. So, if you're looking for inspiration for your next date night or family movie night, look no further than movie-menus.com. Everything you need for a delicious movie night is right there. Love, Wedding, Repeat is streaming free on Netflix, and Onward is streaming free on Disney+. And now it's time for round 2 of our Cinephiles Assemble movie bracket, round 2. I need a better title for that, don't I? Well, votes have been tallied on the first round, or winners have been declared, and this next round will determine which movies I review in round 2. The polls will be up on Twitter and the Cinephiles Assemble Facebook page until Wednesday, May 6th. Next time we'll be returning to our movie bracket as I wander into the world of Wes Anderson. See you then.